How do we get out of a rut, a negative feeling, a lack of motivation, not being able to do the things that we need to do, not being able to be the best version of ourselves and really go towards all our goals and dreams? This is a situation that every single human being will come in contact with, even perhaps a few times in a month. But the most important thing is to realize that this is not a part of you, that this is a temporary passing thing, and you need to have all of the right tools to correct this so you are on your right path as soon as possible. And that is what I'm going to be discussing in this video, because if you are new to my channel, or if you've been here for a while, then you know that I love talking about these types of topics. Essentially, how to become our best versions of ourselves in all aspects of our lives. It's our looks, the way we dress, the way we carry ourselves, our goals and dreams, and we all deserve that. So today I'm going to be showing with you 5 things that I personally do pretty much on a daily basis, but especially when I'm feeling a little bit lack of motivation or I'm feeling a little bit down. And I promise you that when you follow through with these things, even after a few days, you will see a dramatic difference. So before I move on and tell you to subscribe and like this video, I also want to remind you of the live event I am having, the unspoken secrets to becoming a high caliber woman, where we will be discussing essentially everything that I mentioned in great detail and more. You can register for the live online event at intoamilylady.com/live. So let's get into these things. I prepared them over here. And the one thing I want to say is, to kind of preface this video, is you can't focus on 2 things at once. So you can't have a positive thought if you're having a negative thought. And this same goes the other way. You can't have a negative thought if you are already thinking a positive thought. I prepared 5 things that I want you to do, and I'm gonna start out with the least effort one from your part. So there's ways to do this. There's ways to bring in your own positive thoughts, but sometimes we just don't have that energy. And that's when we can focus on bringing in other people's positive thoughts, which is going to be where these cards come in handy. So these are affirmation cards. They are on love, health, wealth, purpose, and happiness. And they're meant to fill your mind with positivity based on these thoughts. There's 52 of them in here, and they have very positive designs and very positive phrases in every single card. So when you are waking up or you feel that there's negative thoughts kind of in your mind, and in particular if they're in any of these categories, for example, love or wealth, purpose, right? You can pick out the deck of cards in that particular area, or you can just read them off like this. I'm going to link the link. They're extremely affordable down below on when you can get them on Amazon. So I really recommend this in the morning when you first wake up, even when you are kind of in your car at a red light maybe. What I like to do is I like to put these in the places I see often. So I would put some of them in my vanity. I would maybe put some of them in my kitchen, next to my tea kettle or my coffee kettle, things like that. So I can take a look at them, and they're just good reminders and affirmations on how you want to act. So for example, this one says, I can be, do, or have anything I want. There has not been a more perfect time than right now for me to be wealthy. This is the wealth affirmation. This one's the great. I am rich. Who doesn't like that? Things are always working out for me. I am adaptable and I am strong. And they have very positive graphics on here as well. So I really recommend these. And whenever you're down, it's just really helpful to even take 3 minutes to list through these, to read them, not even out loud, but just in your head quickly, and you will notice how dramatically your mood will change. Of course, you can also come up with your own affirmations, but sometimes it takes a lot of brain power to kind of go through them and reiterate them. So what you can actually do is literally just go through these and read them. So I'll link them down below. And that is the first thing to what we're discussing. Next, I want to talk about filling your mind up with positive knowledge as well. And that I suggest reading. I've commented on a few books that I've been reading recently. I posted on my Instagram @IntoMillie, and sometimes I mention them in YouTube videos. The book I'm currently on right now is by Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. I am about 90 pages in out of this, looks like it's 400 something. And I can honestly say this book definitely goes into my top 10 so far that I recommend. Maybe it will even squeeze up to top 5. If you want me to do a more thorough video on my favorite books, I'll also probably do that, because this is very, very important to do. And the thing is, you not only learn new ideas, it doesn't mean you have to implement them, and it doesn't mean you have to do everything in this book, but you will at least learn a few things that really make you think a different way, that really show life from a different perspective. Because sometimes you feel like you in your own head is all that you have, and that's how the rest of the world is. But in reality, that's the complete opposite situation. There could be infinite amount of possibilities of how your life can turn out, and sometimes it really helps to see a different perspective from an author or a story that is inspirational and positive. For this particular segment, I do recommend reading positive books, not murder mysteries or thrillers, because as much as they are enjoyable, I don't necessarily think they perform the service of kind of uplifting your mood. So anything that uplifts the mood is what I recommend, and this one is definitely it. Next, I have been doing this for quite some time. That's journaling. I guess 2 and 2, journaling, and also, well, I'll talk about the other one next. But journaling is a great way to kind of write out your life how you want it to be, but at the same time discuss the things that are going on in your life to yourself and try to feel better about them. So if you're not having the best day, sometimes keeping everything internally can make it worse. So what's nice is that journaling, you can just write whatever you want, and you'll notice that if you try to put it in a more positive light, that you can see things from a different perspective. Maybe something isn't going the best right now, but that doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. And maybe you can journal and recall some other times when things were bad, but they're not so anymore. And that's what I like to do. When I journal, I like to talk about issues, how they're not as bad as they are, how there's past things that have turned out. And I also like to write out my life the way I want it to be. So essentially it's like visualization on paper. I guess that's one way to call it. Instead of visualizing it in your head, you're putting it on paper. And the next point is writing down your goals. I'll elaborate on this more in my live event. Register down below, intomillielady.com/live. But essentially is writing down your goals and how to set your goals and how to actually hold yourself accountable to make sure you achieve them. I've been trying out this new strategy for over a month, and I can tell you I have been extremely productive since starting this strategy and with the goal planning. But I'll talk about that more in my live event, because that it deserves a whole nother segment. But getting a notebook and prioritizing your thoughts as well will help you a lot. And the last thing I want to talk about is meditation. I've been doing this for a very long time, the meditation aspect, and there's different ways to do it, but you can just lie down and have 15 minutes to yourself, close your eyes, put on some 524 or 528, just Google it on YouTube, put meditation music, and it's in different frequencies, and have that quiet 15 minutes to yourself to either recall any positive experiences that you've may had for 15 minutes, because that's a lot of positivity. And when you do those, you will notice that you begin to think in a different way, and other events begin to get attracted into your life like that, or even your thoughts, because it all starts from your thoughts. So when you think that way, positive things come, positive thoughts come, positive actions, and so on and so forth. So that's very helpful too. You'll notice the surplus of positivity. What you can also do is imagine your future life, how you want it to be. So, right, I want it I want this amount of income, I want this type of partner, whatever it may be, and in a happy way that will also give you more positive thoughts. Or the last thing you can do is just simply lay there and just lay in quietness and peacefulness and just think of all the things you're grateful for, or don't think at all. Any of those just give your mind that positive fuel or that positive rest, and you'll notice that your mood will begin to change. I think a lot of the time it's easy to just sit down and, you know, wait for something to happen to us or wait to get in a better mood. And so a lot of the times people do destructive behaviors, such as maybe even drinking to make themselves feel better, or eating junk food, or binge watching Netflix for a week in a row. But that's just going to depress you even more, and it's not going to help. So the best thing is to just punch yourself into doing those positive things, and you'll notice how little by little things will begin to improve. So that's going to be it for the video. Get the link to my live event is going to be down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and I will see you in the next one.